Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. We're going to take a look at some Bangkok real estate data,
Okay.
specifically some recent numbers coming from the Real Estate Information Center,
All right.
or REIC, as it's often called.
Right.
And, it's a little bit surprising.
Oh.
What we're seeing is developer sentiment down for the seventh quarter in a row.
Hmm.
So before you think it's all doom and gloom,
Yeah.
there are actually some hints
Okay.
that things might be looking up
How interesting.
in the future.
Right.
So
Yeah.
let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So the REIC Sentiment Index, it measures how confident developers are feeling
Right.
about the market.
Yeah.
And for 7 consecutive quarters, it's been below 50,
Wow. 7 quarters.
which is considered neutral.
Yeah. That's a long time for it to be low like that.
It is a long time.
Yeah.
It's like like a mood ring for the whole housing market.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Well,
Yeah. Like a barometer. It is.
And right now,
Yeah.
it's sitting at 45.1,
Okay.
which is the lowest
The lowest.
it's been since the third quarter of 2020.
Oh, wow.
So
It's-
7 quarters in a row.
Yeah.
That's a long time for developers to be feeling uncertain.
Yeah. It is?
What's going on? What's making them so hesitant?
Well, I mean, it's not just one thing.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
a whole bunch of factors
Yeah.
all coming together.
Okay.
The index is made up of several different components.
Okay.
Each one's looking at a different part of the market.
Gotcha.
Think of it like
Yeah.
a health checkup for the real estate industry.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, so you got your sales,
and-
your investments, your revenue,
Yeah. Okay.
the cost of launching new projects,
Right.
and even employment.
Interesting.
So each of those gets a score,
Uh-huh.
and then they all contribute to the overall sentiment.
Okay. So like a report card
Exactly.
for the real estate industry.
Yeah.
But of all those components,
Yeah.
which one is bringing the overall score down the most?
Well, the biggest drop we see
Yeah.
is in sales sentiment.
Oh, wow.
It plummeted 6.6 points
Really?
to end up at a pretty dismal 40.7,
Okay. So.
which is really important because it tells us that developers are really worried
Yeah.
about selling the properties they're building.
Makes sense. Yeah.
With the economy
Yeah.
globally.
For sure. So
Um,
it seems like they're having trouble finding buyers
yeah.
for their projects.
Yeah, it seems like that.
But what about the other components?
View. Okay, sure.
Any signs of life there?
Well, there are a few glimmers of hope. For
Okay.
example,
Yeah.
revenue sentiment actually increased
Okay.
by 2.5 points.
Oh, okay.
But it's still pretty low at 42.0.
Right.
And launch sentiment actually
Yeah.
managed to sneak above
Above
that 50 mark,
the...
neutral 50 mark,
Oh, wow.
reaching 50.7.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That launch sentiment's up.
Yep.
Even though the overall mood is still pretty low?
Yeah.
I mean, is it possible that they're being cautious?
It's very possible,
Yeah.
even though they're launching these new projects.
Yeah, like dipping their toes in the water.
Yeah, exactly.
But not fully jumping in yet.
Yeah, it really is a mixed bag.
Yeah.
And it's not just the smaller developers either.
Yeah.
Even the big publicly traded companies,
Right.
what we call listed developers,
Okay.
they're mirroring the sentiment.
Oh, check.
Their index actually fell even more sharply,
Oh, wow.
dropping from 52.2 to 47.9.
So even the big players
Yes.
are getting nervous.
Yes, it seems so.
That's a pretty big drop.
Yeah, it is.
What's behind that bigger dip
Well,
for listed developers?
it seems like sales sentiment among listed developers
Yeah.
took a nosedive,
Really?
plummeting 15.8 points
Oh, wow.
to 43.8.
Okay.
And it's not just sales either.
Oh,
Their outlook on investment and new project launches also took a hit,
really?
both falling 5.6 points to 52.1. Even revenue expectations dipped,
Wow.
going down 2.3 points to 47.7.
So pretty much across the board.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
The only slightly good news for them
Yeah.
is that employment sentiment edged up a tiny 0.2 points to 52.1.
So we're seeing a dip in the overall sentiment.
Yeah.
Sales taking the biggest hit,
Uh-huh.
and even the big players are feeling the pressure.
They are.
Seems like everyone's a bit on edge.
A little bit, yeah.
But I remember the report also mentioned something about expectations.
Yeah.
For the next 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any good news on the horizon?
Well,
Could things be looking up?
potentially, yeah, there might be a glimmer of light.
Oh,
at the end of the tunnel.
okay.
The expectations index, which tries to predict sentiment for the next 6 months,
Right.
is actually sitting at 51.6,
Oh, wow.
which is
Above 50.
above 50, meaning
right.
developers are feeling more optimistic about the future.
Okay, so maybe it's not all doom and gloom.
Right.
But what exactly are they feeling positive about?
Well, interestingly, the
Right.
optimism is driven by two key areas:
Yeah.
sales and employment.
Okay.
Sales expectations jumped 3.4 points to 57.8,
Wow.
suggesting that developers believe the market might start picking up soon.
Okay.
And employment expectations rose by 2.2 points to 52.4.
So hinting at potential job growth
Exactly.
in the sector.
Yeah.
So that's good news for anyone thinking about buying
Yeah.
or even looking for a job
Right.
in real estate.
Absolutely.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
This is just a forecast,
Right.
right? There
That-
are still some uncertainties out there.
Absolutely.
Right.
While there's some optimism for sales and employment,
Right.
expectations for new launches and investments actually decreased.
Right.
New launches dropped 6.3 points to 58.1,
Wow. Yeah.
and investment dipped 3.1 points to 51.0.
So still a little bit of hesitation.
Yeah, it seems that developers are still hesitant about pouring money into new projects.
Makes sense,
Probably
given everything going on.
because of the worries about the economy and the possibility of continued slow sales.
Right.
So it seems like they're still a bit cautious,
Yeah.
even with that glimmer of optimism.
So it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Some cautious hope, but still some uncertainties.
Right, exactly.
Makes you wonder what this all means for people who are thinking about buying or investing
Yeah.
in property
Right.
in Bangkok right now.
It's the million-dollar question.
Is it a good time to jump in, or should they wait and see what happens?
Well, if you're thinking about entering the market,
Yeah.
it's crucial to really weigh the potential risks and rewards.
Yep.
The current dip in sentiment
Yeah,
could lead to some good deals for
Right.
buyers,
for sure.
but there's also the risk that the market could soften further,
Right.
leading to lower property values.
Yeah, so it's a real
So
one.
it's a balancing act.
Yeah,
And, understanding the current sentiment is just one piece of the puzzle.
yeah. Sounds like a game of strategy,
Yeah,
both for buyers and developers.
absolutely.
Speaking of developers,
Yes.
if you were a developer in Bangkok right now,
Okay.
what would your strategy be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Given these trends,
Yeah.
would you be launching new projects, or would you play it safe and wait?
Well, honestly, there's no easy answer.
Right.
If I were a developer in Bangkok right now, I would be proceeding with caution.
Okay.
The drop in investment sentiment suggests many developers are hesitant to launch new projects,
Right.
and for good reason.
Yeah.
The market is sending these mixed signals,
Right, yeah.
and it's tough to predict what will happen next.
So playing it safe
Yeah,
seems to be the name of the game.
it seems so.
But if they're not launching new projects,
Yeah.
what are developers doing?
Oh,
Are they just sitting on their hands waiting for the market to magically rebound?
not necessarily. There are still opportunities out there.
Okay.
But developers need to be smart and adapt to this changing market.
Right.
One approach could be to focus on niche markets
Okay.
or specific segments where the demand is still strong.
Okay, so kind of finding those pockets
Yeah, exactly.
of sunshine.
Finding those pockets of
Okay,
sunshine.
instead of trying to appeal to everyone,
Exactly.
they can focus on where the buyers actually are.
Right.
But what about those developers that already have a lot of projects in the works?
Yeah.
What can they do?
Well, another strategy could be to shift focus from selling new units
Okay.
to managing existing properties.
Okay.
With so much uncertainty in the market,
Right.
people might be hesitant to buy,
Right.
but they still need a place to live.
Of course.
So this could create opportunities
Yep.
for developers to generate revenue through rentals
Okay.
or property management services.
Interesting.
So it's like
Okay.
diversifying their income stream.
Okay, so diversifying their income stream
Yes.
is a smart move. But is there anything else they can do
Sure.
to kind of weather this storm?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any ways to make their projects
Mm.
more appealing to buyers in this challenging market?
Well, innovation is key
Okay.
in any market,
Yeah.
especially a challenging one.
Right.
Developers need to find ways to stand out from the crowd
Okay.
and offer something unique to buyers.
Gotcha.
This could involve incorporating new technologies,
Right.
focusing on sustainable building practices,
Uh-huh.
or creating communities that cater to specific lifestyles.
Okay, so it's not just about bricks and mortar anymore.
Exactly.
It's about the whole package.
It is.
The experience.
Yeah, yeah. The experience they offer to residents.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So it's about creating a lifestyle.
Yes.
Not just selling a property.
Right.
I imagine this is where those listed developers might have an edge.
Yeah, they might.
They have more resources to invest in innovation
Exactly.
and create those unique experiences.
You're spot on.
Okay.
Listed developers with their deeper pockets and access to capital
Right.
can really lead the way
Okay.
in innovation.
Gotcha.
They can invest in research and development,
Yeah.
experiment with new building materials,
Right.
and implement cutting-edge technologies
Right.
that smaller developers might not be able to afford.
Right, because of the cost.
Exactly.
So this challenging market
Uh-huh.
could actually push the industry forward,
It could.
leading to positive changes
Right.
in the long run.
Exactly.
So this downturn could be a catalyst
Yeah, get it?
for positive change,
Yeah.
pushing the industry to become more innovative
Right.
and responsive to buyer needs.
Yeah.
But what about the buyers themselves?
Okay.
What advice would you give to someone thinking about buying property in Bangkok right now? Is it a good time to buy, or should they wait for the market to settle?
Well, my advice to buyers would be to do their research
Okay.
and be patient. Don't rush into a decision based solely on
Right.
the current market sentiment. Research different areas,
Uh-huh.
compare prices,
Yeah.
understand the long-term potential of the property.
Right.
This is especially important
Yeah.
given the uncertainty around interest rates and the overall economic climate.
For sure.
It's all about making informed decisions.
Right.
Not letting fear or FOMO
Yeah.
dictate your choices.
Okay, so it's all about being informed and strategic.
Exactly.
Speaking of strategic,
Yeah.
let's shift gears for a moment
Okay.
and talk about a different kind of decision.
Sure.
The choice to invest in property versus other asset classes.
Okay.
How does real estate in Bangkok stack up against, say, stocks or bonds in the current climate?
Okay.
Is it still a good investment, or are there better options out there?
That's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
And it really depends on your individual investment goals and risk tolerance.
Okay.
Traditionally, real estate has been seen as a relatively safe and stable investment,
Right.
especially in a growing market like Bangkok.
Right.
However, as we're seeing now,
Yeah.
the real estate market
Yeah.
isn't immune to fluctuations and downturns.
Right. So even though it's been seen
Right,
as
the age-old adage,
historically.
safest houses
Yeah.
might not always hold true.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about stocks and bonds?
Okay.
How do they compare to real estate
Sure.
in terms of risk and potential return?
Well, stocks and bonds,
Yeah.
while potentially more volatile in the short term,
Yeah.
can offer higher returns
Okay.
and greater liquidity.
So it's all about finding the right balance
It is.
for your portfolio and your investment strategy.
Exact.
Diversification is key.
Yeah. Diversification is key, just like we talked about with
Right.
developers diversifying their income streams.
Right. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
Whether it's real estate, stocks, bonds, or anything else.
Right.
Spread the risk, do your research, and be prepared for the long haul.
Absolutely.
Diversification.
Yeah.
That's the key takeaway.
It is.
It's about spreading the risk
Right.
and not relying on any single investment to
Exactly.
make you rich.
Yeah.
But with all this talk about uncertainty and risk, it's easy to get discouraged.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone
Sure.
who's feeling overwhelmed by the complexity of the market?
I would say don't panic.
Okay.
Don't make rash decisions.
Right.
And remember that every challenge also presents an opportunity.
Okay.
The real estate market. Like
Yeah.
any market goes through cycles.
Right.
There will be ups and downs.
Yeah.
But over time,
Yeah.
well-chosen properties in a thriving city like Bangkok
Right.
have the potential to appreciate in value.
So it's about having a long-term perspective
It is.
and not getting caught up in the short-term fluctuations.
Exactly.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day news,
Yeah.
market movements.
Right.
But it's important to remember that investing is a long game.
It is.
What other advice would you give to someone
Okay.
who's considering investing in Bangkok real estate?
Sure.
Is there anything else they should keep in mind?
I'd say it's crucial
Yeah.
for buyers, investors, and developers alike
Okay.
to stay informed about the latest market trends and economic developments.
Right. So knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power, especially in a dynamic market like Bangkok.
Right.
There are plenty of resources available to help you stay up to date,
Right.
from industry publications to online forums.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Right.
Seek expert advice and do your due diligence.
That's excellent advice.
Yeah.
Staying informed is essential,
Yeah.
especially in a market as complex and ever-changing
Right.
as Bangkok real estate.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes all the information in the world
Yeah.
can't replace good old-fashioned intuition.
Right.
What role does intuition play
Hmm.
in making investment decisions, especially in a market like this?
Well, intuition can be a powerful tool,
Right.
especially when you combine it with solid research and analysis.
Okay.
It's that gut feeling,
Yeah.
that tells you if a deal is right or if something just doesn't feel quite right.
Right.
But it's important to balance intuition
Okay.
with facts and figures.
Right. So you got to use your head, a
Exactly.
little bit of your heart.
A little bit of both.
Right. So it's about finding that sweet spot
It is.
between your head and your heart.
Yeah.
Do your research, crunch the numbers,
Right.
but also listen to that inner voice.
Exactly.
Sometimes the best investment decisions
Yeah.
are the ones that just feel right,
Uh-huh.
regardless of what the market is doing.
Absolutely.
But let's bring this back to our listener for a moment.
Okay.
If you were standing at a crossroads right now,
Yeah.
ready to jump into the Bangkok property market,
Okay.
what would your next move be? Would you hold back, waiting for things to settle,
Right.
or dive in, hoping to snag a bargain?
It's a tough call.
It is a tough call.
There are compelling arguments
Yeah.
for both sides.
Right.
Waiting could mean missing out on some potentially good deals.
Right. You could miss the boat,
Yeah, exactly.
but it also allows you to observe the market and see how things play out.
Right, exactly.
Jumping in now could land you a bargain.
It could.
But it also comes with the risk of the market softening further.
Exactly.
So many things to think about.
Yeah, there are a lot of factors.
Ultimately, the best decision
Mm.
depends on your individual circumstances,
Yeah,
your risk tolerance,
Mhm.
and your investment goals.
exactly.
It sounds like there's no right or wrong answer,
Right.
just different approaches
Yeah.
based on your personal situation.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter what you decide,
Yeah.
knowledge is key.
Knowledge is key.
The more you understand about the market,
Right.
the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions. And that's where a resource
Yeah.
like the REIC Sentiment Index
Right.
can be so valuable.
It can be.
It gives you a snapshot
Right, a snapshot.
of how developers are feeling,
Yeah, how they're feeling.
which can give you some insights
Exactly.
in the overall direction of the
Yeah.
market.
Absolutely. The REIC Sentiment Index is just one tool in your toolbox,
Right.
but it is a powerful one when you combine it with thorough research,
Yeah.
careful planning,
Uh-huh.
and a good dose of intuition.
Yeah.
It can really help you navigate the complexities
Yeah.
of the Bangkok real estate market
Sure.
and make smart investment decisions.
Well said.
Thank you.
I think we've given our listener a lot to think about today.
I think so.
We've explored the ups and downs of the Bangkok housing market.
Uh-huh.
We dissected the factors influencing developer confidence
Right.
and even delved into the world of investment strategies.
We did.
But as always,
Yeah.
the learning never stops.
Never stops.
There's a whole whirl of fascinating topics out there
Absolutely.
just waiting to be explored.
So much to learn.
And we're here to guide you through them.
That's right.
So tell us, what are you curious about?
Yeah, what are you interested in?
What deep dives would you like to see in future episodes?
What do you want to learn about?
Your questions and suggestions
Right.
are what drive our exploration.
They are.
So don't be shy.
Yeah, tell us.
Let us know what sparks your interest,
What are you curious about?
and we'll do our best to uncover
Yeah.
the hidden gems of knowledge together.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep those brains buzzing
Yeah.
and those curiosity fires burning.
Keep learning.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
Thanks, everyone.